Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to sit down with Representative Grier to discuss his service in the State House as well as his military service.
The best way, I think, for any politician, any public servant, any elected official to keep veterans' issues in mind is to be a veteran themselves. That's why it's so important that we get more veterans elected to Congress and to the North Carolina General Assembly. It doesn't matter which party. We need to get veterans from Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, unaffiliated. And if you bring those experiences to bear, it makes it much easier for you to try to see if there's an angle on how this might affect veterans differently from other segments of the society. Beyond that, though, it's also serving as a resource to my fellow legislators who are not veterans. If they're concerned that an issue might impact veterans, that sometimes they'll come and ask me. And there's a lot of synergy there. So I've got colleagues who are doctors or nurse practitioners who are not veterans, but they may see a medical angle on how a law might affect a veteran from a medical perspective and come run that by me. So we form an ad hoc team of a medical professional and a veteran to try to figure out what the impact on veterans' health might be.
You mentioned there, it doesn't matter which political background they are. You get to work with other politicians that are from a different side of the aisle from you. How does that come together? And obviously, veterans are veterans. And
right. It comes together very naturally because folks who have served in the military will probably have some ideal of service. And I like to think that we bring that, Democrat or Republican, to the General Assembly. So that when I show up at the General Assembly, I happen to be a Democrat, certainly I'll be advocating for the Democratic perspective on most issues. My Republican veteran colleagues will generally be advocating for the Republican perspective on most issues. But we both know that our duty, our obligation to the American and North Carolina citizens is to do what's best for them. And I think we as veterans find it much easier to drop down the partisan barriers and work together where we need to. And that's been a joy for me to do.
Talk a little bit about your service, because a lot of people, they might know you're a veteran. They don't really know a lot about how you served, and you've been deployed already as well. Talk about your service.
Yeah, sure. My service started back in college. I did ROTC in college and was commissioned as an artillery officer, a field artillery officer. After that, served in the reserve component for several years, and then was shifted into what's called the IRR, Individual Ready Reserve, where your name is still on a list, you're still in the Army, but you're not actively participating. And I thought that I would eventually finish out my commitment there. But then was serving on a board with another Army reservist who was a judge advocate, an Army lawyer, and he told me that I ought to switch over from being an artillery officer to becoming a judge advocate. And I thought that I might want to more actively participate again. And that was in '98, I think, and have been a judge advocate ever since then. After 9/11, like probably most folks in the reserve, I knew that life was going to get interesting for me. That week, I called up my Army career manager and told him that I wanted to go on active duty. So a few months later, I reported to Fort Bragg. I think that was in March 2002. And then in November of 2002, deployed to Afghanistan with 18th Airborne Corps. Returned in '03. And that actually ties into why I ended up in the General Assembly, I think. I'd become a parent. My daughter was born 6 days before I deployed to Afghanistan. And as a parent, you all of a sudden feel a deep responsibility for shaping a world in which you feel good about raising your child. And then feeling that responsibility, 6 days later, headed off to Afghanistan, a place where they're having trouble building a better world in which to raise their children, makes you realize that when you get home, come off active duty, that you've got to continue shaping that kind of world. And I thought that service in the General Assembly was a good way to do that.